Okay, so Jeannie, I think you can start reading the script if you'd like.
All right. I am calling this Back Bay Architectural Commission Violations Committee public meeting to order at 4:30 p.m. on July 9th, 2025. You can participate in this hearing by going to our Zoom meeting link in our agenda posted online at https://www.boston.gov/public-notices/163-87996 or by calling 301-715-8592 and entering ID number 951-5963-9046. You can also submit written comments or questions to backbayac@boston.gov. In accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, we are conducting this hearing online. To ensure public access to the deliberations of the Back Bay Architectural Commission, the public may access this call through telephone and video conferencing. Members of the public will have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment on applications and discussions. To do so, please raise your hand in the application via the Zoom meeting platform. If you are calling in and cannot use the platform, you can press *9 to raise your hand, or you can send your questions to staff via email at backbayac@boston.gov. Public comment will be limited to 2 minutes per person and should be focused on a project's exterior architectural features, which include landscaping. Issues related to use, street traffic, and noise are outside the commission's purview. And I think our first one is 3 Gloucester Street.
Yes, is there anyone here for 3 Gloucester Street?
Let me come back so I can see you all.
Okay, and I am having a little computer glitch problem, so I'm not able to share my screen, but I can give you a report. If everyone remembers correctly, 3 Gloucester Street, the violation was the unapproved installation of conduit on the side elevation and rear elevation of that building. I can report that the conduit has been removed. There is work scheduled to take place this week to repair the holes in the masonry that were created from that work. And the property owner has also submitted a design review that's not yet complete, a design review application for the installation of mechanical equipment at the top uppermost roof of that building. So my recommendation is to dismiss the violation with the understanding that the masonry will be repaired this week, and that hopefully next month I'll have the design review application for the mechanical equipment at the uppermost roof.
Joe, did you verify that the conduit's been removed?
Yes, yes.
Then I'll make a motion to dismiss the violation.
Do you want me to do I have to do public comment? Should I move to that first?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, so members of the public now have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment. To do so, please raise your hand in the application via the Zoom meeting platform. If you are calling in and cannot use a platform, you can press *9 to raise your hand, or you can send your questions to staff via email at backbayac@boston.gov. Public comment will be limited to 2 minutes per person and should be focused on a project's exterior architectural features, which include landscaping. Issues related to use, street traffic, and noise are outside of the commission's purview. Okay, so do we have any comments? I'm not seeing any.
See if anyone's raising their hand. Not seeing any.
Okay, so Rob, would you like to make your motion then?
My motion is to dismiss the violation.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, so then our next one is 270 Clarendon Street. The violation was at rear elevation, unapproved removal of tree and construction of wood platform, continued from the 6/11/2025 hearing.
Okay. And I'm happy to report that the scaffolding and the wood platform have been removed. However, the tree has not been replaced yet. The property owner is planning to replace the removed crabapple tree with a dogwood, a Venus dogwood, Cornus Venus tree. So my recommendation would be probably to continue this until we have confirmation that the tree will be planted. But I am happy to report that the scaffolding and the wood platform have been removed.
Okay.
Is anyone here? I know someone's showing, I think that's a dogwood now. Is that what they're showing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this property owner was unable to
Okay.
attend.
Okay. I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay, so members of the public now have an opportunity to ask questions, provide public comment on this application. To do so, please raise your hand in the application via the Zoom meeting platform. If you are calling in and cannot use a platform, you can press *9 to raise your hand, or you can send your questions to staff via email at backbayac@boston.gov. Public comment will be limited to 2 minutes per person and should be focused on a project's exterior architectural features, which include landscaping. Issues related to use, street traffic, and noise are outside of the commission's purview. Okay, I do not see anyone.
Serge Savard, Serge is.
Oh, is Serge raised? Oh, I see. Yes, sorry, Serge. Now I see your hand.
No problem. Good evening. Actually, good afternoon now, commissioners and Joe. What my recommendation would be is that the violation not be cleared, if possible, until a new tree is planted. So that basically what has been done has been completely corrected. And so to make sure that we follow up on not only that we have a date for a tree planting, but a tree is planted. And at that point, I think it would be appropriate to remove the violation. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Anyone else?
Yeah,
So,
not seeing anyone else.
Rob, would you like to move to your motion?
Yep. My motion is to continue the violation until such time that a new tree has been planted.
Second?
All right, and I think we can do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, anyone opposed? All right, well, thank you. What we can do now is pause and reconvene at 5 o'clock for design review.
Okay.
Is
Sounds
it,
good.
Joe,
Great.
which is preferable from your standpoint, for us to sign off and redial in, or just stay connected? Or
You can stay connected. Stay
Okay.
connected. I'm just going to pause the recording.
Great.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Opening. All right. All right, Kathy, anytime you'd like to start.
Thank you very much. Ready. I'm calling this Back Bay Architectural Commission public hearing to order at 5:03 p.m. on July 9th, 2025. You may participate in this hearing by going to our Zoom meeting link in our agenda posted online at https://www.boston.gov/public notices 163-82306 or by calling 301-715-8592 and entering ID number 951-5963-9046. You may also submit written comments or questions to backbayac@boston.gov. In accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, we're conducting this hearing online. To ensure public access to the deliberations of the Back Bay Architectural Commission, the public may access this call through telephone and video conferencing. Members of the public will have an opportunity to ask questions, provide public comment on applications and discussions. To do so, please raise your hand in the application via the Zoom meeting platform. If you are calling in and cannot use the platform, you may press *9 to raise your hand, or you may send your questions to staff via email at backbayac@boston.gov. Public comment will be limited to 2 minutes per person and should be focused on a project's exterior architectural features, which includes landscaping. Issues related to use, street traffic, and noise are outside of the commission's purview.
All right, and I'll just do the roll call of commissioners. We have Kathy Connor, Gina Dimitriadis, Tom High, Rob Weintraub, David Sampson, Franklin Ross, Susanna Gaspar, and Tanvi Nair. And let me see, Sarah, if you could make Tanvi a co-host, that would be great. And with that, Kathy, I think we can go to our first agenda item, which is the minutes, which we need to table till next month.
Okay, alrighty. So do we have a motion do we have to make a motion, Joe, to table the minutes?
No.
Or is it fantastic? Just wanted to double check. So let's move on then. We're going to go to project 1, which is 342 Newbury Street. Is there someone here for 342 Newbury Street, please?
And if you raise your hand, Sarah will make you a co-host. All right.
Okay, is Denisha? I think
Yes.
is okay.
Yeah.
So she's a co-host.
So we do have someone here, is that correct, for 342? Fantastic, thanks, Sarah.
Yes, I was on mute. Thank you.
Okay, Denise, and Denise, just so you're aware, we're going to turn this back to Joe so that he can go through the staff notes, and then the floor will be yours.
Okay.
Okay, in this project, at front facade, clean masonry and repaint storefront, install 2 metal banners at 2nd story, install wall sign and replace entry door. Staff notes that 342 Newbury Street is a 2-story granite building built as a stable and dwelling in 1885. The current copper storefront was installed in 1931. After meeting with the neighborhood association of the Back Bay, the applicant has revised the project by proposing a gray paint color for the existing storefront, reduction in size of the wall sign, and redesign of the proposed 2nd story signage. And I will just give you my recommendation. Staff recommends approval with provisos, finding that the proposed wall sign and gray storefront color are appropriate for the design of this building and this area of the district. However, the proposed 2nd story signage obstructs the views of the 2nd story windows, and I would suggest hanging blade signs from the existing brackets. And just to show you what we're looking at here, here is the existing front facade of the building. As you can see, there are 2 existing brackets for blade signs. So I would recommend exploring 2 blade signs here rather than the metal banners that they're proposing, because it looks to me like they'll be blocking views of the windows. So with that, you can just let me know when to move forward.
I am ready.
Okay.
So let me understand, you'll be flipping through on your screen as we speak?
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. I am Denise Ambicki. I am a project manager for Tricarico Architecture, and our client Garage, which is a women's clothing store, is also present at the meeting. We are happy to present to you our ideas and the client's vision for what they would like to do for the facade updates. So on, if you'll proceed to the following page, we can see some, just a brief outline of what you're about to see. On this page, on the left-hand side, is a CAD drawing drawn to scale of the 2-story building with the ground floor as existing retail space. And currently the 2nd floor is vacant, but we understand that at one point it was used for office space. To the right, you can see a section through the entire building. The building is comprised of a basement level, which is strictly for employee use and storage of retail stock merchandise. It also has all of the building's utilities in the basement. At level 1, you enter into the retail space through the exterior on Newbury Street, and then via staircase you reach level 2. What is nice is that this tenant plans to, or wants to take over the entire building for a single use, whereas in the past it was two different tenants. So you could see the building section on level 2 is where the where the facade windows come into play. If you'll flip to the next page, you'll then see the existing conditions. To the left of us is a brick structure, to the right of us is a brick structure. The existing ground floor is currently a metal cladding with doors to the left and to the right. The upper level is what we believe to be granite with existing windows. The previous, any previous tenant signage will be removed from the building. On the next page, you can see the design intent. We do still have a picture in the upper right-hand corner for reference. The intent here is a nice rendering where we are keeping the entire second level as is. So with the exception of hoping to clean up some of the staining that's happening and some of the, some of the rust marks. And then on the ground floor is where the most of the work that we're proposing would occur.
And may I ask, the color sample that you have to the right is the gray that you are now proposing?
That's correct.
Yeah.
What you're seeing on the right is it's a Benjamin Moore color called Edgecomb Gray. And we've placed it on the white background so that you can see the contrast against a stark white background. You could see it's definitely a more creamy grayish type of color.
Yeah, that's a great improvement over what you originally proposed.
Thank you. What you're also seeing in this rendering is actually, if you flip to the next page, it'll be the same rendering with a handful of notes. So after this, I'll just work my way clockwise, starting with the upper left-hand side. As I mentioned, the existing masonry, the roof, dental work, all of that will remain. We just plan to clean it. The windows will remain and the metal will remain. On the right-hand side, you'll see that the client is hoping to draw a little bit more visibility to the fact that they are taking the entire building with some suspended marquee type signs. So as opposed to the blade sign that you would normally see that projects perpendicular to the building, these are signs that they have had success with in the past on other projects where they actually mount them vertically. So the intent, we know that one of the suggestions was to try to reuse one of the brackets, or the two brackets rather, that are at the lower corners of the outside windows. That's what you see in the upper right-hand rendering. We would find a way to attach the metal garage sign to the bottom of that bracket, but then in order to go upward, we would have to introduce a second arm of metal to catch the top part, and we believe we could do that in line and connect. We might be able to connect to the side jamb of the window discreetly so that we're not, hopefully not touching the granite too much. We would have to explore the connection detail a little bit further should we get approval to move forward. The height of that sign that we're proposing is slightly longer than the window. Again, we're trying to work with the window framing as an attachment guide, and so that makes this sign roughly 60 inches high by 18 inches wide or deep. The second signage that you see below is our primary storefront retail sign. It's a horizontal sign with the company garage. This is a surface mounted band that is approximately 18 inches high lettering and 102 inches wide. We did reduce this sign down to 18 from what we originally wanted to do, which was a 20-inch. Normally on most stores, the sign is 24. We recognize that might be a little bit large. We tried to go with 20, and then we think we are compromising with a nice solution at 18-inch high letters. To the right-hand side, you'll see that we The right-hand door is the one that exists today is certainly not original to the building. We know that from the survey and the survey photos that we've taken from both the inside and the outside of the building. And so we are proposing to replace that with something that more carefully matches the left-hand door with a side light. I'm sorry, with a vision panel. It's right now we have not designed out the entire first floor. So what would be behind that vision panel would either be an opaque background, or we could illuminate it from the outside to kind of have it mimic the lighting that you're going to see coming through the center windows. But in that image, everything on the ground floor, all of that metalwork would be the existing metalwork to remain. We would clean it, prep it for the new Benjamin Moore Edgecomb Gray paint color that we had showed you on the previous slide. And then finally on the left-hand side, you'll see that that the note does say we're going to keep the left-hand door, keep the moldings, and again, just clean that up and paint it. On the next page, the client has done a little bit of homework and has noticed on adjacent streets all throughout the Newbury Street area that there are other facades that do use a grayish color paint. And so this page was just to kind of show examples of how they feel that their finishes would likely fit into the aesthetic of what's happening on some of the streets around them. And so that's kind of what that bottom right-hand picture was. This is their signage. Yes, thank you. You can certainly, this is their standard signage. It is not neon. It is an LED light that is behind a frosted panel. You do see the glow of the LED. It's actually part of the design. It's intentional. But you can see from the image here that during the daylight, that frosting does kind of diffuse the lighting. The client's brand signage is it's a brighter pink color. So I believe on the next page we might have another image of this. Yes. So this just gives you, the branding, the size of the letters, and a better picture of what the storefront signage from the shop vendor would look like. This is not a final drawing, but it is definitely the 18 inches high proportion that we're proposing. And then I believe we're coming up on, just a couple of more details about the signage. You can see that it is illuminated. It will get fastened through the front face of the sign band, and there will be an electrical raceway behind it that will have to get powered from the inside. And I believe that's what we have for today.
This is an important block because it's still pretty much, even though it's converted almost entirely to commercial use, the original stable buildings are still pretty much in scale, and the streetscape is pretty much intact with the exception of storefronts. And the upper part of this building is original. I think what you're proposing makes sense in most cases, but I agree completely with Joe that it would be inappropriate to have the banners, and that we should have, as we have in other locations, the hanging signs using the existing brackets of a size which is appropriate and doesn't obscure the architecture. Excuse me. With that exception, I think that it should be approved.
I agree.
Thank you.
Yeah, coincidentally, Tom made reference to a stable, but in essence, it was a garage.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's kind of I agree with you, Tom. The vertical banner is rising up as opposed to down. It's not going to look good.
yeah.
It does obstruct the detail on the facade, the original portion of the facade.
I agree as well.
I agree. I also have a question about the color. Is the color lighter or darker than the stone itself? Did you put those two together? It's hard to tell from this rendering. I'm a little concerned how light it is, but I wasn't part of the previous iteration of this discussion.
Yeah, that was my concern when I saw the rendering here. The original drawings that they submitted were bright white. And then this is toned down a bit, but the gray that shows in the sample is darker still. And I think I agree with you that it needs to be closer to what I'm seeing in the square, not what I'm seeing on the rendering in the front there. And we could probably defer that to Joe for approval.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just hoping it's a little bit darker than the stone itself and not stand out as kind of a plasticky presence.
Yeah.
We can arrange to have we had sent lighter samples to Joe last month, but since then the client has darkened it further per the neighborhood's request, and so we can have the Edgecombe gray samples sent to him so that he can review it in person. We do agree. I think it's just I think it's a matter of the rendering. When you take that Edgecombe gray sample and you actually slide it over when you're actually putting the graphic presentation together, they actually do match pretty well. I think it's a little bit of an optical illusion in the rendering that makes it look a little brighter.
Yeah, and it's always, a matter of screen and lighting and all of that. I actually would want to I'm sure that Joe will just take it out to the side and compare it to the stone itself in some sort of fashion. It's not easy, but reality is important.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Edgecombe gray, it is a very popular Benjamin Moore color, and you do find it in a lot of traditional settings.
I'm ready to make a motion.
Great.
All right, and it looks like Marie, is she part of your team?
Yes, Marie Pierre. She's
yes, yep. Well, I let her. You should be able to unmute Marie.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I agree.
So thank you very much for your time first, and thank you, Denise, for the presentation. So I'm Marie-Pierre. I'm the head of store design at Group Dynamite, and I'm here. There's also Romina, VP Real Estate, on the call. So we just want to thank everyone for the time in reviewing the proposal. I agree with all the comments, and of course, our goal is really to preserve the authenticity of the building. So we agree to use a darker tone to match the stone above and all that. I just want to reiterate, and I totally agree your point on the vertical banner. I just want to potentially just flag that we're going to invest almost like $3 million building that store on 2 levels. So for sure, on our side, having the brand visibility is something important for the investment we're making in the neighborhood. So we do appreciate your concern, and I understand the perspective. I just want to make sure, because I think Denise touched on it, but I want to reiterate that we use the existing signage bracket at the bottom, and it's not a new bracket. It's really the existing anchoring plate that we're going to reuse. So no new all in the actual masonry. So we're going to be using the exact same positioning, and then try to connect at the top part window. We analyze a lot of museum and historical building signage anchoring, and we find many proposal where they were attaching to a side window. So we thought it was a good way to actually connect with the building without touching the integrity of the existing masonry. I do appreciate your concern about the visibility. I just wanted to make sure you understand the branding and the importance of the investment we're making in this building to make it like even come from on the interior side and making it a two-story connected commercial space. So again, thank you very much for your time, and I understand your perspective. I just wanted to take a few minutes to explain the study that we have done on that signage since the presentation last week.
Thank you.
One other suggestion I might just throw out, it does look like there may have been a flagpole in between the two second-story windows.
It's true.
And that might be another option, since this will be a single use or just have one retail space. That may be, I don't know how the commissioners would feel, but that might be another option to have a flag with your brand on it in that location.
Yeah, definitely something interesting. If
right there.
Yeah, if the group is open to it, definitely something we can explore.
I think that's a great idea. I understand why you're trying to extend the signage up, first of all, just to get some height, but also to signify that you're going to own both the first and the second floors. But I do find it, this view is very benign, but nobody's looking at it from this direction, but it's coming from the side. So it is going to obscure all the windows as you're approaching this window. And I think I'm in this building, and I agree with what Joe is suggesting is having something that's proud in the middle. At least you see two windows unobstructed, no matter which direction you're coming from.
Should the client, should this be rejected, but would you be open to having two blade signs and the flag in the middle, all three?
I actually was asking myself the question how people will know which one the entrance is. So there might be a good rationale to have the blade sign over the entrance and then have the flagpole. I understand the asymmetry of it, but I'm just worried, you're describing the lighting behind the door and everything, but I don't think there's a clear signal as to where the entrance to the store is, because everything is so symmetrical with the two blade sign. I think the question is, would you be okay with one blade sign and the flag?
We're gonna have to look at it. I think one blade sign and the flag is certainly a good option. As for the door, you're right. It was an original request when we first met with Mr. Cornish to make it to keep the perfect symmetrical aspect of the existing historical storefront. You can see that the right door is currently very damaged and in wood, so we wanted to just enhance the quality of that door to make it symmetrical and really in a good condition. We can look at having one blade sign above the entrance and having maybe some sort of a slightly taller flag in the middle. I just need to test it, considering there is an existing bracket on the right. I want to make sure it doesn't look like unfinished to have this one.
Yeah, that would be my concern, is that the symmetry of having the two blade signs, I think, is desirable. I'm concerned that a flag, although it might give you more visibility, might be overkill. And I think we'd want to see that before approving that aspect of it. So if you decided to go with a flag, I think you'd want to probably bring it back.
And if we go with the two blade sign above the door, is this something you can consider approving today?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So
that would be my motion.
I feel confident that two blade sign above the door with the current similar size as this tenant, we can possibly make it work. As for visibility on the upper floor, I understand your point of view. So it's very difficult to argue against it. So I think with the 2 blade sign, the grayish color at the bottom, and our 18 inches signage, I feel like it's a good compromise for our visibility.
Great. All right. Well, shall we go to public comment? Members of the public will now have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment on applications and discussions. To do so, please raise your hand in the application via the Zoom meeting platform. If you are calling in and cannot use the platform, you may press *9 to raise your hand, or you may send your questions to staff via email at backbayac@boston.gov. Public comment will be limited to 2 minutes per person and should be focused on a project's exterior architectural features, which includes landscaping. Issues related to use, street traffic, and noise are outside of the commission's purview. And Serge, I see that you have your hand raised.
Yes, good. This time, good evening, commissioners and staff. Serge Savard, the vice chair of the architecture committee of the neighborhood association. We did see this this application with the architect team for garage last week, and I must say that I want to commend them for the amount of work that they did to improve the proposal. One thing that I would like to mention is the granite on this building is actually Milford granite, which is the same type of granite that is used on the McKim building on the BPL. So it's definitely a landmark in a kind of type of stone in the neighborhood. And we should think that once they're going to clean the stone, the color of the stone may also be impacted. So if we look at choosing the color, there is an aspect here to think that maybe you could pick a color, but revise or actually make a final decision when when the stone will be clean, because they could have an impact on the way it perceived. But definitely, our committee was more inclined to have a little bit darker tone to the stone. Regarding the blade signs, we are in alignment with the staff, and I think the position of a lot of the commissioners that we were thinking of using the brackets to hang something down, not hang something up. And I think if the two signs are hanging down, I think it's going to be really compatible with the rest of the buildings in that block of Newbury. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Serge. Susan.
Just get Susan unmuted. All right, Sue, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Yeah, that's good. I just wanted to be clear about the size of the blade signs in your resolution, because I'm not, as a 5-foot person, the 5-foot banner looked kind of long to me. Thank you.
All right, and I'm not seeing any other public comment.
All right, let's go back to the motion.
I move that the application be approved with provisos that blade signs, not banners, may be installed on the 2 existing brackets, and that the paint color, the signage details, and other design details are to be approved by the commission staff.
Second.
Okay. Kathy Connor?
Yes.
Gina Dimitriadis?
Yes.
Tom High?
Yes.
Rob Weintraub?
Yes.
David Sampson?
Yes.
Franklin Ross?
Yes.
Susanna Gaspar?
Yes.
And Tommy Nair?
Yes.
Great, thanks everyone. So I'll be in touch with the team on next steps.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, now we're moving on to project number 2. It's 206 Beacon Street. Is there someone here from 206 Beacon Street project, please?
Yep. Sarah, if you could make Chris a co-host. I know that's not their name, but they're I know that's our presenter.
Okay, he should be a co-host. You should be able to unmute.
The 206 or 208 Beacon? What's 206?
It's 208.
Oh, 208. Sorry about that.
Yeah, the application does say 208.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Great. Thank you.
So the scope of work, again, it's 208 Beacon Street at front garden, remove existing plants and tree and install new plantings and a Kousa dogwood tree. Staff notes that 208 Beacon Street is a 5-story stone row house built between 1862 and 1863. After meeting with the neighborhood association of the Back Bay, the applicant has revised the species of replacement tree to be a Rutgers hybrid dogwood tree. Staff recommends approval as submitted. However, it is my understanding that the applicant may now be considering trying to nurse the existing tree to health. So I will just turn it over to the applicant. But before I do, just to show you the existing condition of the garden at 208 Beacon Street and the existing tree.
Thank you. So the tree is a point of contention. It's in very rough shape. The arborist that we had look at it felt it should come down, but the neighborhood association's arborist felt we might be able to baby it, coddle it, and bring it back to health. However, there is one theory that it's possible this tree was planted in its basket. If it's in its basket, then we think it should be removed. So to that end, I've been talking with Lori Thomas on the neighborhood committee, and she and I agreed that Friday, the arborist is going to go over and do some excavating. He's been in touch with DigSafe, and we're going to see exactly what's going on with the root system of this tree. We want to be good neighbors. We'd like to try to save the tree if possible, but that might not be as such. So what we'd like to do is talk about the plan in the event that we cannot save the tree. But even if we can save the tree, we do have some shrubbery and some perennials that we would like to put in. So here's a rendering of what we're talking about. We've surrounded the bed with some Andromeda, some Japanese holly, and then in the middle of the bed we have some vinca, some hosta, and some hydrangea, and the tree would center anchor the bed. They asked if we would use a Rutgers hybrid, which we're happy to do. Probably be a white flowered, but since we want a very large tree, we did not specify the variety because we're not sure what's going to be available. And we will be installing an irrigation system.
And will you be retaining the fence?
Yes, that's that came before you, I guess last year maybe. That's all been redone.
Great. So as I'm understanding it, what you're going to do is explore further the possibility of a treatment where if it hasn't been planted in its container, that it can be treated and perhaps saved. And then if it turns out that that's not possible, then it would be replaced with the Rutgers hybrid dogwood of a reasonable.
That is correct.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be ready to make a motion to that effect.
And they'd also be working with the garden club at the same time?
We've invited members of the garden club to come by on Friday, and I believe a couple of them are going to join us just to see what's going on.
Okay. Let's go to public comment. Members of the public will now have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment on applications and discussions. To do so, please raise your hand in the application via the Zoom meeting platform. If you are calling in and cannot use the platform, you may press *9 to raise your hand, or you may send your questions to staff via email at backbayac@boston.gov. Public comment will be limited to 2 minutes per person and should be focused on a project's exterior architectural features, which includes landscaping. Issues related to use, street traffic, and noises are outside of the commission's purview. And Lori, I see you have your hand raised.
Yes, I do. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Lori Thomas with the tree committee of the garden club of the neighborhood of the garden club of the Back Bay. I want to thank Kathy and her arborist, Ryan Andrews from Bartlett, for being so understanding about our interest in preserving this tree. It is very possible that this tree is simply failing. And we are hoping that root treatments, which Norm Healy, our arborist, can advise on, might also bring it back. So even if it isn't planted in the basket, which could be causing a serious stability issue for the tree, we hope that when we all meet on Friday, part of that discussion could also be just seeing what else might be wrong with the tree and what Norm recommends. But I have great faith in Kathy and in Ryan that they'll make the right decision about this tree, and we're very happy that they will put in a Rutgers dogwood for some species diversity. Looking at the plan, Kathy, I do have a couple of questions for you. Are you thinking of any kind of rabbit proofing within your fence? Because we are finding that both hostas and sometimes hydrangea can be eaten by rabbits in addition to young trees. So that's definitely a problem in this neighborhood. Most of your other plants seem safe, but hungry rabbits will eat almost anything, and they can devour the hostas. So thank you.
I absolutely agree with you. We have enough experience in the Boston area to know how hungry your rabbits can be. What we have been using is a very inconspicuous black chicken wire that we put on the inside of the fencing to go all the way around the bed, so you really can't see it, and it protects everything.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Serge, you can be able to make your comment.
Yes, thank you, Joe and commissioners. I'm curious from a procedural point of view here, just is there a way for the applicant, in case both arborists comes to the same conclusion, the one from the garden club and the ones from the applicant, would that need to go back to the commission, or it could be approved administratively so the client can move forward with their design? That would be my question, and my comment would be that I totally support Lori. The hostas will be completely devastated if it's not protected, and even we planted the Rutgers dogwood recently last year, and during fall we had people nibbing at the bottom of our tree. So protect the base of the tree. It's really important. The rodents are really hungry here. Thank you.
Thank you, Serge. Is there anyone else, Joe?
Nope, no other comments.
Great, then let's go back to the motion.
I move that it be approved as presented with the proviso that the existing tree is to remain and receives treatment to improve its health as described at this hearing by the applicant, and that if the treatment is not successful, then it may be replaced with the approval of the commission staff with the replacement tree to be a Rutgers hybrid dogwood.
Second.
Okay, Kathy Connor,
Yes.
Gina Dimitriadis,
Yes.
Tom High,
Yes.
Rob Weintraub,
Yes.
David Sampson,
Yes.
Franklin Ross,
Yes.
Susanna Gaspar,
Yes.
and Tom V. Nayer.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Well, keep me posted on what happens on Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to project 3, 534 Beacon Street. Is there
Okay,
someone here from 534 Beacon Street, please?
Yep, Timothy Burke. Sarah, if you could make Timothy a co-host, that would be great. And I'll just describe the work. At roof, install a new stair to existing penthouse to provide access for elevator machine room. Install guardrail 42-inch high, painted black for stair access from the penthouse. Staff notes that 534 Beacon Street is a 10-story condominium building originally built as the Hotel Fensgate in 1923 and designed by Edward B. Stratton Architect. After meeting with the Neighborhood Association of the Back Bay, the applicant has created an alternate plan that reduces visibility of the proposed stair and access door. Staff recommends approval of the alternate proposal, which locates the proposed stair and entry door to the north elevation of the building, which will not be visible from Beacon Street. And just to show you some images, this is the building from Charlesgate. This is looking west on Beacon Street. And here you can see the mock-up of the door and stair from the initial proposal. And just to walk you around, this is from Back Street, where you can see, again, the initial proposal had the door and stair there. And just a view looking from Massachusetts Avenue down towards the building. So Tim, would you like to share your screen, or would you like me to move forward?
I can share. Thank you very much, Joe. I will
Okay.
do that right now. And
Okay. I'm going to stop sharing.
great. So all right, so I have the same photos that you just showed here. I can skip over those since we've looked at those. And then this is a plan of the roof at 534 Beacon Street. It had what's called a winding drum type elevator, which are now not allowed anymore. So a lot of these older buildings are in the process of replacing their elevators. It's quite a extensive project. I've indicated on the plans kind of the general location of the elevator machine that has to be centered over the existing hoistway. And this had two machine rooms. The one here in the lower part is an existing operating elevator, and they're trying to bring a second one on board. The door is shown here on the east elevation, and that's pretty much the only place to put the door. So right now, there's a set of stairs that comes up and you go through this door on the south elevation. But because of the required clearances for safety, that door has to move to this side on the east side. So that was the original scheme. And then, so the idea was you come out of the existing stairway onto the roof, and then you would walk along this area up some steps and into the door. And that's what the mock-up was that was installed last week. What we have, I can go right to these are just overall elevations. A lot of windows on this building. Mm-hmm. And this was a blow up showing the existing and the demolition work for removing the store here on the south elevation. It says east, but it really is towards Beacon Street. And then this was the new proposed entry. So after meeting with the neighborhood association, there was some good discussion about it, and the alternate scheme would be to use the stairway that's already goes up to the currently operating machine room, and then have it continue around and wrap around the penthouse, and then come right in this door here. So it would eliminate the stairway and all the railing that had been proposed here where my cursor is at the moment. And the elevations, again, these sort of overall elevations. And then this would be the south side. So this is where the door is currently located, where my cursor is. And so we would essentially just build a little bridge around there and turn the corner, and then go in where the door wants to be based on all the safety requirements. So yeah, I liked that idea. We've drawn it up. It seems to work well. The railings would be as light as possible, similar to a roof deck type railing, black painted mild steel. It has to be 42 inches high, and with the pickets not letting anything more than 4 inches go through, 4 inches or larger pass through the guardrail at any point. And I feel that with this, it'll be a fairly minimal change to the exterior, and not one that people are, it's not at eye level. You really have to look for this. And with it painted black, it should be minimally visible. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions, commissioners?
I'm assuming there is no way to move the door to the south side as well. You're saying that that's just from a mechanical and safety standpoint, not possible.
That is correct. I tried that, and the elevator company was said it just wouldn't fly with the inspectors. Yes.
Fine.
Looks like a great alternative. Good job.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
I'm ready to make a motion.
Ready. Let's move on to public comment.
Yep, I'm going to start sharing my screen. Okay, let's get to our script. Let's see. Okay, here's our script, Kathy.
Thank you, Joe. Members of the public will now have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comments on applications and discussions. To do so, please raise your hand in the application via the Zoom meeting platform. If you are calling in and cannot use the platform, you may press *9 to raise your hand, or you may you may send your questions to staff via email at backbayac@boston.gov. Public comment will be limited to 2 minutes per person and should be focused on the project's exterior architectural features, which includes landscaping. Issues related to use, street traffic, and noise are outside of the commission's purview. And Sue, I see you have your hand raised.
I do. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, good. Yeah, I was interested in why you didn't consider putting the walkway on the roof where it would be less visible. I'm not sure that this is whether this will be visible or not. I think it would probably have to be mocked up if the commission chose to approve it. But if you just went down on the roof and walked around, would that be approvable by the city?
Well, the penthouse is several feet above the roof level, so I have to get up higher. And because of all the other equipment on the roof, the one way that's available is currently the set of stairs that goes to the other machine room. So it really is the only way to get there unless we did my original scheme.
You can't go down a new set of stairs and then go around and use the other set of stairs? Keeping everything on the flat?
Well, I'd still have to have stairs up to the doorway.
Right, understood. But you wouldn't have to have it all the way around the.
Yeah, I think that if you look at the mock-up, the visibility quickly disappears. I don't know if there'd be a real significant change to that. It would be a lot more steps for the service people.
Right. They're not there all that often, however, and they should be.
Hopefully not. Yes, right.
The roof. Right. Anyway, okay, I'll let Serge take it from here. Thank you.
Serge.
Yes, I'm just curious. One of the things that we looked at, and because now you mocked up the height also of this passageway, in your side elevation, is this possible to look? I don't think from Beacon Street there is any way that even the elevated version of the stairs would be visible from Beacon Street, at least from the front of the building. I don't think you could be able to see the elevated walkway, but I would like just to confirm this based on your drawing. If you have a drawing of your passageway elevated, and then we can clearly see with the angle. Other than that, I would say I think it's much preferable to have it on the south side because of the distance with the parapet. It should be invisible from Beacon compared to being very visible from Back Street and from the Esplanade. So I think it's more hidden that way, definitely.
Yes, I agree. And you can see here in the overall that the side angle, you would have to be very far away for the angle to show any of that railing. You would not see it from the front of the building at all.
Perfect.
I'm not seeing any other comments, Kathy.
Okay, great. Then let's go back to the motion.
My motion is for approval with the proviso that we approve the alternate proposal as opposed to the original proposal.
Second,
Okay. Kathy Connor,
Yes.
Gina Dimitriadis,
yes.
Tom High,
Yes.
Rob Weintraub,
Yes.
David Sampson,
Yes.
Franklin Ross,
Yes.
Susanna Gaspar,
Yes.
and Tom Benayer.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Tim.
Yes, thank you very much. Have a good evening. Yep.
You too. Okay, shall we go to administrative review? Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Okay.
Okay. Kathy Connor,
Yes.
Gina Dimitriadis,
Yes.
Tom High,
Yes.
Rob Weintraub,
Yes.
David Sampson,
Yes.
Franklin Ross,
Abstain.
okay, Susanna Gaspar,
Yes.
and Tom Benayer.
Yes.
Great, thank you. All right, for staff updates, I want to give a huge thank you and shout out to Sarah Lawton, who saved me during my computer problems earlier today. So
Yes.
thank you, Sarah. You did a great job as always. And other than that, I don't think I have any updates.
Hey. Shall we get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All
All
right.
right.
Thanks,
Well,
everyone.
thank you. Another efficient meeting. Have a great evening, everybody.
Great.
Thanks, you too,
Thanks,
Kathy.
everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks,
Bye.
Sarah.